Thank you for finding some time for yourself. In a moment, you can enjoy this wonderful experience, but if you could, close your eyes and breathe in all that you need, and breathe out. And I wonder if you can feel a deep sense of relaxation, breathing in, breathing out, deeper into this experience. And I don't know the last time you allowed yourself to relax into gravity, or feel the comfort of the chair supporting you to go deeper into this experience. Little by little, moment by moment. And as you relax into the force of gravity, there is also the space you feel, the space you don't feel. And isn't it wonderful that you've taken some time for yourself? Permission to leave life's demands behind. A time to not abandon yourself, but to really be here in this moment. Little by little, moment by moment. And sometimes you can feel so relaxed and so comfortable, tummy hanging out, jaw unclenched, relaxed tongue resting in the mouth, shoulders relaxed. And I'm curious if you can allow your muscles to liquefy from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. And you can allow any pain to melt away as a pool of liquid from the top of your head out of the tips of your toes. And you can experience this pleasant state known as existence, little by little, moment by moment, deeper into the sensations. And you can really attach yourself to this sensation, or discover that sensation, or unattach yourself from this label or that thing, and just be somewhere. And it's okay to not know where you really are. But on a much deeper level, know you are on so many levels. Something quite wonderful, aren't you? And maybe you know the word air means spirit. And you've noticed all animals and humans are air breathers. And our plant friends breathe hydrogen, meaning they are water makers. And everything on this planet has a sound, a frequency. And sound condenses into light. And light condenses into gas. And gas condenses into liquid. And liquid condenses into a solid. And all of these elements are expanding and contracting. Your muscles are expanding and contracting. The rhythm of your intestines expand and contract. Your eyelids expand and contract. And as you breathe the breath of life, I'm curious if you can feel your body expand and contract. And in fact, the planets of our solar system are also expanding and contracting. From an elliptical orbit to a spherical orbit. And I'm curious if you've noticed how perfectly proportioned you are in the exact phi ratio from your longest finger to your shoulder is the measurement of 1 to 1.6. The 3 parts of your finger, the proportion of 1 to 1.6. And from your feet to the hip, 1 to 1.6. And you are so much more than that. Your teeth are the only exposed bone in your body. And when you smile, they just love absorbing vitamin D for free. And your lovable teeth not only help you pronounce some words, they have direct contact with the air and the electrical properties of the air are conducted by the calcium in your teeth throughout the entire skeletal system of your body, which is exposed to the air only through your wonderful teeth, which in turn vitalizes the blood and cerebral spinal fluid that are formed. And the air you breathe is teeming and charged with everything that exists in solid form. liquid and gas form, transforming your vessel, your vehicle, your body, your vehicle of travelling around in. And it was Pythagoras who believed that the earth had its own sound or frequency, the note of G, G flat, F sharp, and NASA's astronauts have proven this to be true, using high-tech sound recording equipment. And to quote Eckhart Tolle, some rocks undergo a change in their molecular structure, turn into crystal, and others become transparent to the light. Some carbons under pressure turn into diamond, and some heavy minerals turn into other precious stones. And sometimes we can be so drawn to nature, can't we? And the human tongue was believed to be a two-edged sword. It could cut or lift your spirits to new heights, and the image of a sword in a stone was symbolic of not having found the power of loosening the sword, the power of one's voice, the wonder of spirit, the breath that makes audible speech. And when a person is stressed or anxious, we hear it in their voice. The labia, diaphragm, and the vocal fold. And the vocal mechanisms are so much more than that. They involve the muscles of the abdomen, chest, throat, head, and the vocal box, cartilage, muscles, intrinsic and extrinsic, soft lining, all alter the shape, position, and tension of the vocal folds. And it was a Japanese physician, Minoru Hanaro, who identified in 1975 5 distinct layers of tissue that looked like a pointed star. And the 5-pointed star can be found on the inside of an apple. Or like us humans with our arms, legs, and head. The square can be found on the bottom of a blueberry. Spheres and circles on oranges and berries. The equidistant cross found on the stem of mint, or in the spiral of sunflowers. The 5 shapes that are found in nature. And our words have the power to heal. And finding your voice can be the sound of your vision. And if the 88 keys of the piano extended out into the distance, At some point, they will create a frequency of colour and not sound. And you are so much more than that. And rock stars and philosophers, religious leaders, from the elite to the very poor, many have found the luxury of time to really explore the deeper meaning of life. And the great English philosopher who wrote nearly 50 books, Aldous Huxley, and became one of the first psychonauts, an early experimenter of LSD, had many profound questions about hypnosis. Like, can hypnotic language expand awareness? And in a transcript of Huxley being hypnotized, the hypnotist Milton Erickson decided to use a confusion technique to induct him into a hypnotic state, with the statement, utter clarity in living reality, in impossible actuality, that which once was, but which now in the depths of trance will, in bewildering confrontation, challenge all of your memories and understanding. And he was in a profound trance for 2 hours. In fact, every time Milton tried to invite him to reorient back to reality, Huxley would ask him to hush. And people want to go deeper than that. And in the 68th International Journal of Clinical and Experimental Hypnosis, there was a study from quantum physics to quantum hypnosis. Quantum mechanics is proposed to overcome the dichotomy between mind and body. Can quantum inductions produce a hypnotic response? Or the study of the Tao of consciousness, quantum probability of differentials, that somewhere between interception, mind-oriented, and exteroception, body-oriented, you might just find some fuzzy logic, or deeper than that, the study of contemplation, with the focus on mindfulness, to experience things as they really are, without labels or conditioned responses. The full flux of embodied sensation. And while contemplative practice is usually the practice of affirmations and visualizations, Buddhist and Hindu practitioners might ask a client to hold a geometric object in the mind's eye, while in the Christian tradition, you can find a similar technique with the Ignatian spiritual exercises, where you imagine yourself in different scriptural scenes, from one perspective to the next. For example, now looking at Mary's face, now at the angel, or much deeper than that. In yoga, you might set an intention for the rest of the day, and most people are searching deeper and deeper. The study of the 1,200-year-old Tibetan tradition of Dzogchen meditation to help fully awaken from illusion of self and reality. Dzogchen is the cut-through technique of visualization, and you can see Yongey Rinpoche on YouTube explaining Dzogchen meditation. That one day he wanted to pretend he was meditating in front of his father, so that his father could give him some praise. So he started to meditate on the mountain, and his father asked, "Are you meditating?" And Yongey Rinpoche replied, "Yes." But his father said, "There's nothing to meditate on. The view is fake. Meditation is fake." And that was a profound moment for Rinpoche, his breakthrough moment. And people want to know, what about Langarian mindfulness? The act of drawing, noticing without novelty. And it reminds me of one of Britain's finest painters, Thomas Gainsborough. And at the time in the 1700s, there were so many talented portrait painters, but no one could quite capture the portraiture and the English countryside quite like Thomas Gainsborough. And his paintings, depending on size, are worth over a little 10 million each. And he would paint the royal family and his lovely daughters contemplating playing with cabbages. But he declared his girls should properly be trained as artists to save them from society life, bath society life. That better he do this than to make trumpery of them. Trumpery meaning showy, but worthless, rather than let them be led away by vanity and the wild goose chase. Better his daughters be artists to find a prospective husband. And people today still search for a deeper meaning of life. The popular mindful approach to hypnotherapy, non-judgmental awareness of bodily sensation, acceptance, and awareness of value, was so much deeper. the study of Vittorio Benassi from 1920, who realized you could measure the emotions of hope and happiness and 48 others. Measure the experience of those emotions without cognitive or imaginative experience, and find the measurement of a respiratory profile for each emotion, and skin conductiveness was so much deeper than that. And the heart was once considered the brain of the body, not the brain. And your heart generates electromagnetic fields. It's not just a pump. It's capable of influencing emotions and our connection to a unified field. And out of all of your organs, the heart is the only one that has intelligence. It can connect us to love, unity, rather than stress. But for most people, these positive feelings tend to only occur as chance, rather than us taking ownership to cultivate these emotions. And we can regulate our own internal states, but it does require knowledge, practice, and dedication. And when we are in heart coherence between the heart and brain, you might just be able to tap into the heart's intelligence, a healthy gene expression, cultivating, sustaining, elevated emotions, joy, gratitude, freedom, love, creating a new internal order. And it can give the brain more energy and creativity, and in return from the nervous system, a feeling of connectedness with everybody, a feeling of wholeness, oneness. And when the heart and brain are coherent, we feel calm, relaxed, and safe. We are in harmony. And when stress occurs, it does require some resilience to bring back some balance. And maybe you already know the spaces between the heartbeats are like Morse code, measuring the space intervals in between. They are complex transmissions between the brain and body. And when people focus on their heart with elevated emotions, joy, compassion, gratitude, it can be found within the heart's rhythms. And we know you don't have to be a yogi or mystic to master these skills. And these positive feelings can make us feel lighter and cascade 1,400 biochemical changes that promote growth and repair. And the heart is an energy expander, which creates a magnetic, energetic field. When you're feeling hurt, stress, or competition, the connection from the heart to brain becomes incoherent and releases 1,200 biochemicals equal to those feelings. And one of the greatest basketball coaches of all time, John Wooden, would say to his players, "It's not about winning. It's about being the best that you can be." And his players wouldn't celebrate if they won a game. Instead, they would choose to celebrate when, as an individual, they were the best that they could be. And in Dr. Joe Dispenza's book, Becoming Supernatural, he describes this feeling of stress can last from 90 seconds to 2 minutes, which is fine if it is resolved, because it will improve your resilience. But long term, over time, you could be vulnerable to stress-related illnesses. And what we feel minute to minute affects our heart. Our heart produces a magnetic field 5,000 times stronger than the magnetic field produced by the brain. And it can be measured up to 8 to 10 feet away. And you are casting your emotions to every cell of your body, but also into space. And I'm not sure if you already know, and maybe you do, that when the heart and brain are coherent, it produces a frequency of 0.10 Hertz. This state has been measured as optimum performance, with deep access to our intuition. And this has been shown to be a state of optimum performance, with deep access to our intuition. And the brain moves from alpha, theta to delta, which is the state of hypnosis. You are a state of love, a loving state. And right behind your breastbone, you have the thymus, which is also connected to the heart. And your thymus produces T cells, which defend the body from viruses. And it shrinks as we grow older due to the lack of human growth hormone produced as we age. And the thymus can be prone to long-term stress. Our energy promoted outwards to external threats, leaving little loving energy to protect it. But people who constantly practice heart and brain coherence are able to sustain feelings like gratitude, joy, and regularly experience a connectedness And when you apply these positive emotions to how you feel about the future, something very important begins to take place. The neocortex of the brain can't help but begin to wire those positive emotions about your future. And one of Dr. Dispenza's clients let him know one day, after meditating on positive thoughts for 15 to 20 minutes per day, she got out of bed one morning only to be cascaded by an overwhelming sense of love that she decided to lay back down and really enjoy it. An overwhelming feeling of spontaneous love that lasted an hour. And you are so much more than you think you are. And no one knows what it's like to be you. The privilege of being you. And until the end of time, there'll never be anyone exactly the same as you. And won't it be wonderful in the future? With each breath, you know you have all that you need. You are so much more than you think you are. And when you're ready to reorient back, you can wriggle your fingers and toes, stretch out, and open your eyes. Welcome back. You're perfect, just as you are.